Hello, welcome to the SPSS modelers for the SPSS modeling class. Right. So we will be understanding the node palettes that we'll be working and looking towards. Fine. So for today's nodes, understanding nodes, what all will we be looking at? We'll be understanding the source nodes and importing from different source nodes with different file formats. That we'll look into. And then thereafter, we'll also be attempting and understanding the field and record ops nodes also. So when I say understanding source nodes, what do we mean by that? We mean by that we'll be importing the data. We'll be importing the data of different file formats. And when I say source nodes, it means that that particular node will be using that particular node into our stream, and then based on that we'll be able to import the data for that particular node. So with this fine, let us quickly launch the software, which no, I haven't actually. Right, so that's your software. Right, yeah, so we need to enter the credentials, login ID and passwords. So yes, now, okay, so the software is getting loaded here. It's initializing helpers. So, okay, fine. Finally, the software has loaded. So, what do we do here? We'll be working. No, I don't want. I'm not worried about it. They'll be deleted. Okay, I don't want it. No. Okay, fine. So out here, maybe I don't need this screen to load either. So I'll close the screen. And so out here we see the favorites. So these are some of the favorite nodes that will generally be used, that people mostly use. So they have prepared a favorites list over here, the software manufacturer itself, the OEM. So suppose if you click on SQL, then that is a database. You can click on where.file, that is another node that is used. Auto data preparation, select, sample, aggregate, derive, type, filter. These are some of the most prominent nodes that are used, and therefore they are segregated separately as favorites, as you can see over here. We also have the graph board. Graph is used, of course. We have table, flat file, and auto classifier, auto numeric, auto clustering, and the database exposed to relational database. When you bring it, it reads from the relational database. So when you see this and when you see this, both symbols, there is not much of a difference. Then, of course, one of them is meant for the export to relational database, and one of them is meant as reading data from the relational database, that is importing. Fine. So let us click on right. So let us click on the source nodes out here, and we can see there is a long list of sources where from we can import into the database. And so out here, okay, so that's, they've selected filter out here. Okay, we'll right click and we'll delete it. So out here we have this long list of nodes that are available. So what are these nodes typically? Let us go on them one by one. Now we have this reads data from relational database. That is, this is an SQL database. So if you bring it over here, then you double click on it. So it will ask you for the data source and the table name. And so suppose if we select add new database connection, so it will ask us which kind of data source is it. So like, is it Access or is it MS Excel? So suppose, and is it from a local server? Now we do not have any local server out here for ourselves, but this is how the subsequent windows will come up. So suppose if you select MS Excel, so it will ask you for Excel, okay, and then you click refresh. So of course the Excel will be deselected, but okay, let's select this, and then you enter your username and your password, and then you click connect. Out in our case, we do not have any username or password here, so it is going to throw up an error. There is not enough information to connect this DSN with SQL Connect. Never mind. In our case, we are not opening it using a database. But if you enter here the username and password and click connect, then it should take you to the designated location on the server, and therefrom you can connect it. So this is one thing whereby you will be using username and password, and then when you click on stored credentials, the credentials will appear here. So if you browse on this, it should throw up some of the credentials, which again, in our case, are not quite so applicable, but it's only from your learning perspective as to how it should show up. I'm discussing it here. This is going to take longer, than it's not going to be very pleasing. So let us click on cancel. Okay. Anyway, I'll have to cancel this, it seems, but oops, this is taking longer. Is it? Yeah. Okay. So this is cancelled. So again, like I said, since we are not using any database, so I don't see there is any need for us to go forward on this. But again, out here, this is the data type. That's a filter that you'll be using. The types, annotations. So these are the applicable buttons that you can use. So anyway, I'll cancel this. After this, we have where.file. This is another kind of source that is available. So let's double click on it and see what comes up. Okay, again, you can select the file here. Let's see which file we can select. So these are the given set of files that they have provided us with. Let us pick any random file. And I click open. So that is a file that it has selected. And I click apply. And I click OK. So let's see what's going to come up here. Okay. If I click preview, it's waiting to execute. Now there is going to be a bit of an error because there is no server connection as it was anticipated. So okay, I mean, if you want, you can also save these messages. So you can save these messages also if you click on this. These are general messages. There are execution times messages also that come up over here. So again, this is about creating a stream. We are also in simultaneity creating a stream. Now we don't need this window, so I'm closing this. Let us click on fixed file. What happens here in case of fixed file? So there is a fixed file that they have. There is a file format that it has. Then we can select it from one of these. Not these. There would be other files also, formats also that you can select. But anyway, we are not using this format either. So we'll cancel it. I'll cancel this as well. Now let us select on statistics file. So we can see here what is it reads data from IBM SPSS statistics.sav is the file extension or the file format. Fine. So let us click on that. Yeah, when you double click on it, it will automatically appear on the canvas. Now let us click on this, double click, and I'll import the file. So I select on this three dots here on this button here, browse for files. That's for the browser. And we have some files, statisticsxp.sav. Instead of that, let us also try and see if we can find some other location where from we can see. Now we have some SPSS data sets. It's .sav format. That's a diabetes new variable. And I'm clicking. See out here also it is showing us that this is an SPSS saved file format. .sav is the file extension. So again, I click open here. The variable names, it will read names and labels. It will read data and labels also. And are there any filters? No, we don't need any filters. These are the settings that it has come up with. And if you click on this button, what are these? Well, these are the filters that are not applied or applied. What are the types? If you want, we can read values here. Just click OK to read all the values of the field. So let's click OK and see what comes. No field values need to be read, so that's fine. And fine, so let's come back and annotations. We want to add any annotations? No, we don't have them. Nor do I want to. So I click data and I click apply. I click OK. Right. So now once I click on this, let us click the run from here. Okay. There are no executable nodes, right? Why there are no executable nodes? Because you've not built any stream yet. So let's close this window and come back here. Right click, scroll down onto the view data. Let's click on view data. Okay, all fields have been removed. So there are no fields that are appearing over here. Never mind. But the data that we have here. Now this was how you import the files for your for the different from the different sources. That is the objective. So okay, we do not have any data collection here. We do not have any IBM Cognos Analytics TM1 import. So some of these formats we do not have. Let us go to Excel. Okay, So again, when you select this, it will show you what? It reads data from Microsoft Excel files. So let's double click on this. So when we double click on this, the node appears on the canvas. And now when I click on this node, it will ask me which file do you want to import. Okay. So meanwhile, yeah, okay. So now this is the file type that it is asking us for. Which of the file format do you want? So we'll select 2007 to 2016. That's XLSX. And I click on this button, which is for browsing the file. A line to scan for column and type, it's 200. We can let us see if we can make it 500. Yeah, we have increased it. Choose worksheet by index or by name. We choose it by index, and range on the its range starts from first non-blank row. And, so these are some of the standard settings that are there, and that's okay though. And you click on this buttons here. Go on the data. We go on the SPSS. Oh, we don't have any data sets here, so we have to go for the normal data set that we have here. Now we have the following set of files in the XLSX format. Okay, these are the housing price indices, and these are some of the paint companies' data, things like that. And we also have some of the Bitcoins data. So let's click on Bitcoins. Now out here we don't have any XLSX format for Bitcoins. We have most of them in the CSV format. So if I scroll on this all files, see these are the CSV file formats that we have, most of them. So but we are not going into the CSV file formats. So again, we go back on this, and we are going to select only the XLSX file format. So which ones do we have here? Okay, let us select banking data. Okay, and I click open. So that file will now be imported over here. It should show up. Yeah, so the import file is showing up over here. And then I click apply, and I click OK. I can click on OK, but prior to that, let us do one thing. Let us click on preview. Yeah, see now that is how your data looks like. Had preview worked in case of the SPSS file, then it would have showed up something like this on this window. Never mind. Now again, coming back here. So on this, now we can see there are only 10 tables that have showed. Okay. So so this is not really meant to show all your values, but first few values it will show you, and you click OK over here in the bottom right corner. If you can see OK here, I click OK. But okay, before doing that, what is this? I click on file. You can save this, or you can export it into that .tab, CSV .tab, whichever format you want, HTML format also. You can copy, you can generate or select nodes also from here if you want. So this is what can be done when you open this window, when you're previewing the given data set. And I click OK here, the button in the top or bottom, and right out here we have selected, it selects first row has column names as a default setting. So fine, we'll stick with the default settings. I click apply, and then thereafter I click OK.